Now I've grown wheatgrass before, and it's a pretty easy thing to grow. It goes under sort of the category of microgreens, but it's kind of not really a microgreen. But I never had a very good juicer to actually make the juice from the wheatgrass, which is really what it's grown for the most part, is people usually juice it. It's got all kinds of health benefits and everything, and I'll go over some of that more as I go. So I got a complete kit from True Leaf Market, which I'm an affiliate for True Leaf Market. Link in the description if you're interested in checking out this kit yourself. And I figured I would do a nice review and follow the entire kit and see how it goes. So let's get this box open. I'm excited to see exactly what's in here. Hopefully it's not upside down. It's not. All kinds of stuff. So this is what I was most excited about, and the main reason I wanted this kit is the juicer it comes with. Now this is called the Hurricane, and I've seen some really great reviews about this, and we actually had tried at one point with a fairly expensive electric juicer, and it didn't work very good. I think it was too fast. So I'm hoping that this makes some great wheatgrass juice. Comes with soil, which maybe has a little hole in it. I don't really need the soil, but it comes in the kit. I'm going to grow everything in the kit the way that they tell you to do it and see how it comes out. So that's one bag of soil. Here's another bag of soil. We get 2 bags. I'm not sure how big each of those is. This is hard red organic wheatgrass. And it looks like it's all in separate individual packages. So let me just open this up, see what's in here. So they're all individually sized. It's 1, 2, 3. Comes with 5 of these. I think they're £1 each. So that's enough seed for 5 trays. It's safe to assume that's enough soil for 5 trays. Comes with, probably going to say this wrong, azomite organic trace mineral fertilizer, which when I've grown wheatgrass in the past, I never needed any fertilizer, but hey, they included it. I'll use it. Pretty big book on wheatgrass, sprouts, microgreens, and the living food diet. So I'll definitely read through that. That's a pretty extensive book right there. That's interesting. Now, here are the instructions on growing the wheatgrass. And we've got 3 10-20 trays with holes and 3 without. Now that's so you can water from below. So you use 2 trays, one with holes and one without, and you water in the tray without the holes. You don't need to do that with wheatgrass. I've always just watered it right over the top, but for the sake of this review, I'll do it the way that they're going to tell me to do it on this handy little sheet. So this actually tells you how to do it 2 ways, how to do it hydroponically and also how to do it with soil. And we're going to do it with soil, and maybe we'll give it a shot as well hydroponically. We'll see. So each of these, I was correct, they are £1. So on the instructions, it's saying to use 1 pound of high germination wheatgrass seed per tray and soak the seed for 6 to 10 hours. So let's do that. I'm excited to get this stuff growing. So I've got a little bowl here with a lid. We're just going to open up this bag and dump it in. off to the faucet to go put some water in this. So as you can see, the wheatgrass is soaking. I've got maybe 1.5 to 2 inches of water above the wheatgrass just to make sure that if it absorbs it, it won't run out of water. Throw the lid on, and in 6 to 10 hours, we will move on to the next step. All right, well, it's been right around 6 hours and we're ready to plant. Looking at the instructions, it says, fill growing tray with holes with 1 inch of soil and put it in a tray without holes. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I have my own way that I think will work better, but we're going to do what they want to do. So let's do this. I don't know what soil this is, like where it came from, what the brand is, but it's a really nice, fine soil. We're going to go water this in really well right now, and then we'll spread our seed on top. Now that I have my soil all nice and damp and wet, it's time to spread our soaked seeds on. Now, I've already drained the water out of these seeds, but now we've got to spread them along. It's a lot of seed. This seems like a lot more seed than what I would normally want to plant in one tray, but we'll see what happens. Trying to just make it nice and even, spread it out as much as I can. It says to put a little bit of that azomite fertilizer on it, so that's what we're going to do. But it's not very clear as to how much to put on. It just says sprinkle some on. I don't know what that means. I have no clue how much a little bit is, but we'll just sprinkle some on. It really sticks to your hands. It's really light powder. So we're going to go ahead and call that a little bit. I don't know if that was a little bit or what it was, but that's what we're going to go with. So the next step is to place a wet paper towel on top of the seeds. Keep moist by misting 2 to 3 times a day. Got my paper towel here. And then it says to mist it with some water. Make sure it's nice and wet. Alright, that paper towel is really nice and wet. Next, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do it my way. So, we're going to use my soil and my method. So we're going to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison here. I'm going to use regular Pro Mix soil, the seeds they gave me, and no paper towel, and I'm going to stack weight on top of it and see what happens. So let me get that soil in here, and we'll go from there. Alright, I got my soil all spread out. I'm going to go get it all nice and wet. So again, this is not following the directions that came in the kit. This is just my own little spin on it. Couple things in the kit that are not very clear is it tells you to put this paper towel down, but it doesn't tell you to then put a dome over it, just to put the paper towel down and then mist it every now and then. If you were going to do it this way, I would definitely recommend you put a tray without holes over it as a dome to keep the moisture in there. Then you don't have to water it to 2 to 3 times a day like it says in the directions. The humidity dome will just keep all that moisture in there for you. Now on my side, I'm going to spread this dry. I'm not going to pre-soak. Now I'm just going to mist it all really well. Make sure it's all nice and wet. So I'm not going to put any azomite on this. I'm just going to use soil, seed, that's it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the tray. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dome over this because I don't want to have to water this 2-3 times a day. So I'm just going to cover this up with a dome. And from there, we'll see what happens. So I have my tray of my own way growing underneath. And then I have the tray of the way that I was told to grow it from the directions in the grow kit on top. And I'm just going to leave this here for 3 days, 3-4 days. I'll check on it every day and make sure nothing dries out. And we'll see how things go. It's been about 4 days since I planted the wheatgrass. Well, it's been exactly 4 days. And I just took off the blackout dome. And I'm going to remove this paper towel. And it's pulling up some seed, but not too bad. And I'm going to introduce them to light. See how they do. Just give a nice mist. And then underneath this tray is the tray that I did my way, which was planting dry seeds on top of my soil, which doesn't make a big difference. And I'm going to give that another day. You can see they're not germinating as fast as the ones that were soaked. So I just misted those down, and I'm going to leave those for one more day, and tomorrow I'll put those in light. It's been 5 days now. And this is the wheatgrass that was grown with the paper towel on top and no weight. And it's doing fantastic. And this is the wheatgrass that I just barely uncovered just now. And you can see that right now the paper towel method is actually looking pretty good, but I think that this will actually turn out just as good very shortly. Our exciting day has arrived. It is time to juice. It has been about 8 to 9 days. I can't remember exactly, but it's 8 or 9. And you can see this is the method with the paper towel and soaking the seeds. And my method that did not fare nearly as well. It would have went great if I would have soaked the seeds. I'll explain more about that in a minute, but this is the tray we are going to juice today. We're going to juice at least some of it and see how that goes. So let's get ready to juice some wheatgrass. Something I haven't done before with this type of juicer. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I had an experience with an electric juicer that just didn't work very good. So I'm excited to see if this one's going to work better. I haven't even opened this yet, so I have no idea what this is like. I'm hoping that I can clamp it to the side of this table and show you. I don't know if I can juice it straight into a glass or if I'm going to have to use a bowl. We'll see. But I'm very happy with the way that wheatgrass came out. That grew beautifully. We got a tool. This thing's quite heavy. It's all there. We got a pushing tool, so you can push down the wheatgrass. We got our handle. We got instructions for worst case scenario. That's everything. So I'm definitely quite impressed with the build quality of this. It's quite heavy. Looks like it's got a nice big clamp opening. That should work on here. End cap comes off, so you can clean everything really well. Comes apart nice. It's got this mesh in here that catches, so that mesh just prevents anything big from coming out these holes here. I'm going to take this all over the sink, wash it all up really quick before I use it for the first time, and then we'll get juicing. Okay, so I got everything here. It's all cleaned up. I'm going to see if I can clamp this on my table here. Looks like I should be able to. I definitely won't be able to get in the glass this way. Looks like we're going to use the bowl. We'll assemble everything back together. There's not a lot of pieces to this. It's really simple. This nut on the end is left-hand threaded nut, so just keep that in mind. There's a little nylon bushing in here. I'm just kind of packing back in with the nut. We got our handle. The handle just kind of, it locks on its own, which is kind of cool. There's no need to take anything apart. Seems like it should work. We'll go with the bowl. The nice thing about the bowl as well is there's those 3 holes at the bottom. So juice will come out there as well as in here. And periodically you'll have to clean it out to get out the remainder of the wheatgrass. So let's move some things out of the way. Hopefully you have a good view of that. Let's get started. Just got some scissors here. I'm just cutting the wheatgrass. Just one little handful. Let's see what it does. Let's get some more. It's going to take a little while to get some of this worked through there before you start getting any juice. This is where the little plunging tool comes in handy. Kind of push it down. Oh yeah, we're juicing now. Quite a bit of juice coming out of there. One thing I'm noticing is the stuff you don't want, the kind of sludge stuff, is actually coming out the end. And so that's falling in my juice. I'll just, for now, I'll let that happen, and I'll just separate that out when I put it in here. Kind of maybe run it through a strainer. just start pulling that stuff off the end. Then I won't even have to strain it. It comes off in pretty long chunks, so it's not like it's really falling in my bowl too much. I just had to take this apart real quick. That screen that I had removed is tapered at one end, and I had the wrong end going in, which allowed it to kind of spin. And now that I know that, it won't happen again, but I thought I'd let you guys know that as well. You want the taper side on the outside. I think that was causing me to fight with reassembling it too, and it may have also made it a little bit harder to turn than it should have been. So I've actually got quite a bit of juice already. I'm going to go through at least one more handful here. And we will keep on keeping on. Sorry, the table's a little wobbly, making it probably hard to watch this. It does take a little bit of effort to do this, but it's working great. See how the waste just keeps coming right out the end there? Pretty easy to deal with. So I feel like we've got plenty of juice to try this. We'll see how that goes. We'll dump it in our glass. We got maybe an ounce, maybe 2 ounces of wheatgrass juice here. Smells good. Bottoms up. That is way sweeter than I thought it was going to be. It almost tastes like it's got sugar in it. It's actually really good. Not bad at all. I could totally see adding some other things in here, some maybe fresh carrots or whatever you can think of. Pineapple juice or pineapple chunks would be great. But it's a little bit foamed up, but I drank most of that. I'm making a mess. Well, I think that's it. That's going to conclude my test of the True Leaf Market Wheatgrass Kit. Great value. Really happy with the juicer. I'll get used to it over time. It'll be a lot easier. You know, it's the first time I ever used it. Growing the wheatgrass, I definitely can improve a little bit there as well. But the way that True Leaf tells you to do it works just fine. You can follow those directions exactly. I haven't done the hydroponic method yet. I'll do that in the future. I'm hoping to make a routine out of every morning when I get up. I will make myself a couple ounces of wheatgrass juice. Down the hatch it'll go, and we'll see how I feel. I know I said earlier I would cover the health benefits of wheatgrass. I decided not to do that. I don't really like to tell people the health benefits of anything because everything's pretty controversial. So if you want to look it up, there's a million things on on the internet, on YouTube or whatever, where people will tell you exactly the nutritional benefits and health benefits of drinking wheatgrass. There's a lot out there. I'm just not going to be the one to tell you. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Check out my link in the description if you want to go check out a wheatgrass kit. And let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks.